Try not to bang them on the ground because they're all hand painted and the paint comes off. What the hell? Oh, it would help. Get on the other side. All right, we'll add the upper arm first. Then we'll add the lower arm next week. Well, this is kind of cool. Here we have, again, if you download the supplement that is provided with the course, it has keys for these things. Now, again, not all the numbers show nicely, but a lot of them do. So we have part of the pectoralis major here, part of the pectoralis major. Of course, here's our clavicle, isn't it? Here's our chromium process. This is our deltoid muscle, and of course it's going to insert over there at that deltoid tuberosity in the humerus. Of course, you see our scapula here again, and of course what's the area under this, of course, be known as the subscapularis fossa. So this is the subscapularis muscle. Subscapularis muscle. This is a beginning of a muscle we're going to learn out at torso. This is the beginning of latissimus dorsi. Latissimus dorsi. This muscle right here is the back part of something called the teres major. If I turn it over, you see the teres major right here. There's a muscle right here called the teres minor. Teres, T-E-R-E-S, it means round actually. And then all this muscle right here, which is occupying the infraspinatus fossa, is the infraspinatus muscle. This muscle right up here is in the supraspinatus fossa, and this is the supraspinatus muscle. You can see the spine of the scapula coming down here. So there's the supraspinatus muscle, the infraspinatus muscle. This is the, and you see it's all number 2 here, so you can see that. So this muscle right here that says 4 is the teres minor. This is the teres major. Now we come back to the other part of the scapula, and there's our coracoid process. And indeed, I told you before that this muscle right here is called the coracobrachialis. Coracobrachialis. And this right here is one of the heads of the biceps. So here's our biceps brachii. This is one head. So we see the coracoid process has one head of the biceps brachii, and this muscle here called the coracobrachialis. You don't have to identify which heads are which. Just say biceps brachii. We come down here and we see a muscle here called the brachialis. Brachialis. And then we have 3 heads of the triceps muscle. One is right here, one is here, and one is here. However, for test purposes, if I put a tag on here, here, or here, you're just going to put down triceps. Okay? You don't have to identify the difference. So, 1, 2, 3 heads of the triceps, hence the name triceps. So triceps, 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 brachialis, biceps brachii, coracobrachialis. This, of course, is, again, latissimus dorsi. Latissimus dorsi. It's a big muscle, but it's a part of it here. Teres major, subscapularis. Teres major again from this side, teres minor here. Well, this is infraspinatus, sitting in infraspinatus fossa. Deltoid again, supraspinatus muscle sitting in the supraspinatus fossa. You can call it spinous instead of spinatus. I just call it what I learned. We'll show you this when we see a bigger picture of it. So those are the muscles of the upper arm. Since you're recording this, let's see what I remember here of the lower arm. Because it's fairly simple. You just have to remember a couple of things that you have to get in line. Okay, so when we go down here, we want to remember that This is flexion, that's extension. So muscles down here that cause flexion are flexors, and muscles on the other side are referred to as extensors. So let's start here on the side. This muscle right here, if we follow it down, we see it inserts at the carpal bones on the, what's on this side, ulna or the radius? Ulna, right? Radius, thumb side. So this is, when it contracts, it's going to pull on this and it's going to cause flexion. So this is the flexor carpi. It inserts at the carpus bones, and it's on the ulnar side, so it's ulnaris. Flexor carpi ulnaris. It tells you what it does. There's a muscle right here that is coming down here and inserting right here at the palm. We call this the palmaris longus. The palmaris longus. There's a muscle right here that is inserting at the radial side, but when it contracts, it's going to cause flexion. So we call this the flexor carpi radialis. It's on the radial side. Flexor carpi radialis. It tells you what it does if you look at it. This right here is the pronator teres. In an anatomical position, we're like this. This movement here is called pronation. This movement is called supination. So this is the pronator teres. It allows us, again, in an anatomical position, we're like this. It allows us to do pronation. So there's the pronator teres. This muscle here is called the brachioradialis. The brachioradialis, indeed, it's inserting over here on the radial side. Brachioradialis. These are, I want to say flexor carpi radialis brevis, flexor carpi radialis longus. Check those again. We have a couple muscles here that are inserting at the thumb. Remember, the thumb is called the pollex. So this one right here is coming up to the top of the thumb. Boom, boom, boom. Which one is it? Oh, oh, no, this is the side. This one's coming up to the top of the thumb. So this would be called the extensor pollicis brevis. And this one here inserts on the lateral aspect. So remember, this is abduction, that's adduction. So when this contracts, it's going to cause that. So this is the adductor pollicis. Adductor pollicis longus. Adductor pollicis, extensor pollicis. Okay. This muscle here is inserting at the tops of the digits. Just like we saw down the foot, we had the extensor digitorum longus. Well, when this contracts, it's going to cause extension of these fingers or digits. So this is actually just called the extensor digitorum. Extensor digitorum longus is in your leg. This is just the extensor digitorum. There's a muscle here that has no number on it, but if you follow it through, it is inserting on the what we call minimum digit. This is the extensor digiti minimi. In other words, it's going to cause extension of the pinky. Extensor digiti minimi. This muscle over here is inserting on the ulnar side of the wrist, and obviously when it contracts, it's going to cause extension. So this is the extensor carpi ulnaris. The extensor carpi ulnaris. And then we're back to the flexor carpi ulnaris. Got it? Those are all the muscles you're responsible for actually in the arm. Nothing else. Okay?
Okay.
It's not too difficult.